Hello and welcome back to Excelsure Academy. I hope with this monsoon, it's really good time to refresh our mind with doing certain mathematical problems, which is related to CSIR, UGC, DBT, ICMR, NetSet, GAT exams. So let's start with certain questions from protein based. So the first question is, how many red blood cells are there in an average 70 kg person? So here I have not used any options over here, so that once you learn how to solve your questions and whatever the nearby option comes, you can actually tick. So I have deleted all the options over here and now only just focus is कि questions को कैसे solve किया जाए. तो यहाँ पे पूछा गया है that how many RBCs are there in an average 70 kg person. So for here you need to know the basics, that the total blood volume, let us consider, let us assume that the total blood volume of an average 70 kg person is having around 5.5 liters. Okay? Of that, we know that 40% of it are RBC. Of that is RBC. तो इसका मतलब total blood volume में RBC आपका कितना हो गया? So how you are going to calculate this? By taking 40% of the total blood volume. So for this, you have to do like this: 40 divided by 100, that is your 40% of 5.5, which is going to give you the value of 2.2 liter. So it means 2.2 liter is your RBC present. Now they have asked the number of RBCs. So for that you should know the volume of 1 RBC. So volume of 1 RBC कितना होगा? तो इसके लिए आपको थोड़ा सा बेसिक्स और मालूम होना चाहिए. दैट वी नो दैट आर RBC is disc concave shape, right? So here this length is around 2.2 micrometer and here it is around 1 micrometer. But if you see the entire diameter, if I consider it to be as a circle or sphere, then it is around 7 to 8 micrometer. So overall, this is going to give you that volume of 1 RBC is around 86 femtoliter, or otherwise said as 86 into 10 raised to minus 15 liter. Now, what will be the result? Like how many RBCs are present? So आपको simply क्या करना होगा? यहाँ पे divide करना होगा. So I'm going to divide now. 2.2 divided by 86 into 10 raised to 15. तो कितना आएगा? Liter gets cancelled, so the total number around 2.6 into 2.6 into 13, around something आएगा if you remove the decimal, or otherwise we can say that it is 26 trillion. Correct? So I'll just repeat यहाँ पे हमने कैसे solve किया. तो हमें पता है blood volume, total blood volume है हमारा यहाँ पे 5.5 liter, जिसमें से हमें मालूम है 40% of that total blood volume is RBC. So 40% is calculated like this and you get around 2.2 liter. So this is the total RBC present. Now we know that volume of 1 RBC is this much. So from the total volume, if you divide volume of 1 RBC, then what you get is the total number of RBC present. So which is around 26 trillion RBCs present. तो आई होप ये क्लियर रहा. सिंपल है, बस थोड़ा सा बेसिक क्लियर होना चाहिए कि कब आपको क्या निकालना है. सो दिस बिकम्स एन इजी. सो मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. द कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ हीमोग्लोबिन इन ह्यूमन रेड सेल इज नॉर्मली 330 ग्राम पर लीटर. ओके, सो यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी कॉन्सेंट्रेशन दिया हुआ है विच इज 330. So concentration given as 330 gram per liter, right? Now the molecular weight is also given. So molecular weight of HB is around 64,500 Dalton, and the volume of a red RBC is 86 femtoliter. So this which we have solved from the last question. Now, how many molecules of hemoglobin are there in one human red blood cell? So, अभी हमने calculate किया था कि how many number of RBCs are there. Now they are asking कि एक RBC में कितने molecules of hemoglobin are present. So, ये कैसे calculate करेंगे? Very simple. So if you know the formula, that is the number of moles of Hb in one cell is given by, that is, you take the concentration, you take the concentration, 1 second, you you take the concentration here, thoda sa mistake ho gaya. Okay, you take the concentration over here, that is given as 330 gram per liter, multiplied it with volume, that is 86 into 10 raised to minus 15 liter, divided by its molecular weight, which is given as 64500. So how much you are getting? So if you calculate, it's very simple, just cancel all the numbers. So what you get over here is, so this and this both can be cancelled by using the number 3. And what you get over here is around 4.4 into 10 raised to minus 16. Okay. So this is what you're going to get. So these are the number of moles of hemoglobin which is present in one cell. Now they're asking how many molecules of Hb are there. So in order to calculate molecules, you just have to remember the Avogadro's number. So what is Avogadro's number? Avogadro's number आपका कितना है? This is something you should never forget. That is 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. So what happens? In order to get the correct answer, that is the number of molecules of Hb, you just have to multiply with Avogadro's number, which is 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. So how much you are going to get? Around 2.6 into 10 raised to 8. So अभी हमने क्या देखा? पहले हमने पता किया कि how many RBCs are there in an average 70 kg person. Next question में पूछा हर एक RBC में कितने hemoglobin molecules are there. So what we have found out is that in one RBC around 2.6 into 10 raised to 8 molecules of hemoglobin is present. So with this it becomes very much clear. It's not that difficult to solve, right? Once you know. So जैसे जैसे आपको ये समझ में आ जाएगा कब आपको क्या divide या multiply करना है. So when you're writing the exam, you don't have to write all the steps, right? You can just calculate the number and then just multiply and get your answer. Now, moving on to the next. The mean generation time of a RBC from stem cell to mature is 90 hours. The phase in the cell generation pathway in which most of the hemoglobin is synthesized is 40 hours. How many Hb molecules are synthesized per human RBC per second? So अभी हमने क्या देखा? That the number of molecules is given, right? Which was around 2.6 into 10 raised to 8 from the previous question. Now it is given that generation pathway, it is taking around 40 hours. How many Hb molecules are synthesized per second? Correct. So it is given that for one it is 40 hours, but they're asking in seconds. So simple, क्या करना होगा आपको? Hours को seconds में convert करना होगा. So 40 hours into 60 makes it minutes, into 60 makes it in the seconds. So simply total number of hemoglobin molecules divided by the time taken for the generation, it will give you around 1800. That is 1800 molecules of Hb per second. Simple. So I'll repeat over here once again. So from the previous question, we saw that the value was of total number of hemoglobin is 2.6 into 10 raised to 8. And it is given that for a cell generation pathway for the hemoglobin to synthesize is 40 hours. So how many hemoglobins are synthesized per human RBC per second? So actually it is given. So in the hours it was given, you just have to convert into seconds. So you get the answer as 1800 molecules of Hb per second. So these questions are not different actually. I have just split it into different questions. It was only the same questions having the different subsets of questions. Now the next. It has been estimated that it takes approximately 1 minute to synthesize hemoglobin subunit. from its constituent amino acid. So it is given that it takes around 1 minute. Okay, using this fact, calculate the number of hemoglobin molecules produced on an average at any one time in the differentiation of the RBC. So अभी हमने क्या देखा that it takes around 1800 hemoglobin molecules to synthesize in 1 second. तो 60 seconds यानी कि 1 minute में फिर कितना हुआ? Simply. So what you have to do over here? You just have to multiply with 60, right? So how much you're getting? 1.1 into 10 raised to 5. So these many hemoglobin molecules you need to synthesize in 1 minute. But always remember that your hemoglobin is actually a tetrameric protein. Do not forget that. It's a tetrameric protein. So how many molecules then? It has to be multiplied with 4. So it becomes 4.4 into 10 raised to 5. So this is the answer then. So how many number of molecules produced on an average at one time in the differentiation? So it is these many molecules present. So I'll just repeat once again. So अभी हमने देखा कि एक सेकेंड में 1800 हीमोग्लोबिन मॉलिक्यूल्स सिंथेसाइज होते हैं फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन. अब इन्होंने बोला है कि 1 मिनट लेता है पूरे हीमोग्लोबिन सब यूनिट को बनने के लिए. तो 1 मिनट में कितने हीमोग्लोबिन मॉलिक्यूल्स हो गए? दिस मच, 1800 into 60. बट हमें पता है हीमोग्लोबिन इज ए टेट्रामेरिक प्रोटीन which carries 4 oxygen molecules, correct? So इसलिए हम इसको into 4 करेंगे. So now total number of molecules, hemoglobin molecules, is 4.4 into 10 raised to 5. And this all we are talking about in one particular RBC. So I hope this was interesting. So let's move on something to the DNA based. So DNA based और भी easy रहेगा because everyone remembers and understand very easily actually. So even though just to brush up with this beautiful season of monsoon, let's do certain questions based on the DNA also. And आगे चल के भी बहुत सारे numericals आएंगे जहाँ पे आपको concepts भी पूछे जा सकते हैं. And to be very frank, before I proceed, to be very frank, in order to do bio, you need to be at least good in chemistry, physics, and maths. Without these three, it's very difficult to proceed in bio. And this is all I'm talking from my own experience. Okay, so based on the DNA, let's do certain questions. So you are given a sample of DNA, that is plasmid PXO1 from Bacillus anthracis, the causative agent of the causative bacterium of the disease anthrax. The PXO1 plasmid, it carries a gene for producing anthrax toxin, is circular, double-stranded, and contains 180,000 base pairs with G plus C content of 32.5%. Now, the PXO1 plasmid contain how many of the following? So I think this is very direct question. So we know that in DNA, it is already given that it has got 180,000 base pair, right? So the first question they're asking is how many deoxyribose residues are present? So we know that in each base pair, there are two nucleotides, correct? And one nucleotide has got one deoxyribose sugar, one phosphate group, and a purine or pyrimidine, right? So in one each base pair, two nucleotides are there, so it means two deoxyribose. So in total 180,000 base pair, how many deoxyribose? The double of it. So the answer becomes over here is 180,000 into 2. So that is around 360,000 deoxyribose residues. So this was quite direct and simple. Next, phosphate groups. Again, this is also the same as just now we have discussed. So each nucleotide has got one phosphate group. So in a base pair 2, so in 180,000 base pair, it is going to be twice. So the answer is 360,000 phosphate groups. Again, a very direct question. Now, next, purine nucleus bases. So here you need to understand in 180,000 base pair, in one base pair, it will be either one purine, which is hydrogen bonded to the other pyrimidine. It is not purine or pyrimidine. It is purine with pyrimidine and vice versa. So the number of purine nucleobases will be as the same number of the base pair. So we know that it is 180,000 base pair, and in each base pair, at least one purine is there. So hence the answer is 180,000 purine nucleobases are present. Okay, moving on to the next, adenine nucleobases. So for this, yes, now here you need to think a little. Already it is given the GC content. So it is given that G plus C is around 32.5%. Correct. Now this is the GC content. So it means the A plus T content is going to be 67.5%, because this is nothing but 100 minus 32.5, right? So AT content is going to be 67.5%. Now this is to calculate the number of adenine. The number of adenine, you need to calculate the percentage of that value. So that is 67.5 hundred of 180,000 base pair. So how much you are getting? Around 121,500. Now do not get confused, because the other 121 will be the thymine. So don't get confused. Similarly, you can also calculate cytosine and guanine also. So cytosine. So as already discussed, so we have got 32.5% of GC content. So if you calculate 32.5% of 180,000 base pair, you get around 58,500 of cytosine or guanine. And this also balance your equation. Now, next, what are the number of turns of the double helix? So if you know that if the structure of your DNA, the tertiary structure of your DNA, so let us assume that the given structure is in the tertiary structure, tertiary form, and it is the B form of DNA. So what are the characteristics of B form of DNA? That every 10 base pair, there is one turn. So keeping this thing in mind, what you can do is, so we know that there are 180,000 base pair. So if you divide this by 10 base pair, you get total number of turns. So how many you are getting? Around 18,000 turns. Simple. बस थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे लॉजिक यूज करना पड़ता है. तो आपको क्या याद रखना है कि 10 बेस पेयर में अगर एक टर्न है तो 180,000 बेस पेयर में कितने टर्न्स होंगे. तो जस्ट अ मैटर ऑफ अ 10 रेशियो. तो इसमें होंगे हमारे पास 18,000 टर्न्स. सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. ये सब बहुत सिंपल है. नाउ हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स. हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स हमें पता है ATGC में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स कितने होते हैं. So in the case of GC, it is 3 bonds, and in the case of AT, there are 2 hydrogen bonds. So this is something which we have learned during our maybe 11th and 12th, I guess, those who have taken bio. So we know that GC has got 3 bonds and AT has got 2 bonds. So here 3 and 2 hydrogen bonds are there, right? Now they're asking, in total of 180,000 base pair, how many hydrogen bonds are there? So we have already calculated. So what you have to do is 3 into 58,500 plus, this is for your C or G, then 2 into the number of adenine and thymine, that is 121,500. So now what you get is total hydrogen bond is around 418,500. So these many hydrogen bonds are present. Simple. बस कभी कभार जल्दबाजी में मिस्टेक हम कर बैठते हैं. Now moving to the next question. Would you expect this DNA to have higher or lower melting temperature than a plasmid of the same size that has GC content of the 67.5%? So यहाँ पे आप सबको मालूम होना चाहिए, higher the GC content, it implies more hydrogen bond. It means it's more stable. So hence it will have the higher temperature, higher melting temperature. So the temperature or the melting point of this plasmid, that is PXO1, will be lower as compared to the another plasmid which has got GC content of 67.5%. So with this, I would like to stop the presentation over here, and I promise to bring more questions to solve more. And one more thing I would like to say is that writing the exam, clearing the exam is easy, but you need to have your concepts clear, because such questions are asked during your PhD interview. So even if you clear your entrance exam, it's important that you understand the concepts clearly. ये जो भी सवाल अभी मैंने किए, ये सब हम इंटरव्यू के दौरान पूछते हैं, एंड ये बहुत सिंपल लगते हैं, बट जब आप सामने इंटरव्यू के लिए बैठे रहते हैं ना, आपके सामने 5 से 10 इंटरव्यू पैनल फैकल्टी बैठी रहती है, तब ये सिंपल क्वेश्चन भी बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाते हैं. So I just want to, just warn and give advice that please make sure your basics are clear. Written entrance exams will be easy to clear. Just focus on the interview also. So thank you for watching. If you like it, please share and subscribe. Any comments, any suggestions are appreciated. You can also comment your queries below the YouTube channel, and you can also write us to Excelsure Academy 1228gmail.com. I'll be happy if you have more queries or more questions we can discuss. I can make a special video on that also. And soon we'll be launching a live YouTube session also. Thank you and keep watching.